Pisces, hello, welcome to Coffee, Sage, and Tarot. This is going to be your reading for May 2025. Please do keep in mind that these are general readings, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and reverse any energies as you see fit, okay? No spread today. We're just going to let the cards do their thing and see what Spirit has to say for you, okay? Show me Pisces for the month of May 2025. Show me Pisces for May 2025. Show me Pisces heading into the month of May 2025. Show me Pisces. Okay. Show me that Pisces energy in May 2025, please. Show me Pisces in May. Okay, and last one. Show me Pisces, please. All right. Five of Swords. Crossed with the Two of Cups. So some relationship issues heading into May is what that feels like. Or perhaps confronting the conflict between you and somebody else, or between you and your higher vibrational self, okay? Or some aspects of yourself, alrighty? Either way, conflict is there. That is the indicator card for you. So it could be confronting this kind of conflict, confronting these kind of negative emotions here, perhaps as it relates to Two of Cups, some sort of connection here. Alrighty. Nine of Pentacles, that's really nice. It shows that there's a certain level of success that you've acquired here, and that's really lovely. The Ten of Pentacles on its side, you're not quite ready to end that cycle, but you have achieved something coming into May that feels really lovely for you, and you're kind of taking a moment to enjoy that, right? To enjoy the fruits of your labor a little bit. Which is really nice. And again, like I said, you're not quite ready to end this cycle. You're not quite ready to share this maybe with other people, or to kind of advertise around, hey, I did this. Like, for example, hey, I graduated, or, hey, I got this job and it doesn't start until June, right? You're not sharing that really with people. You're just kind of enjoying that success and that kind of sense of achievement, kind of between you and you, right? The Sun and the Four of Pentacles here. So a lot of earth energy that we're seeing here. A lot of pentacle energy, which is interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of giving like Virgo energy here, which is also like the mutable sign of the Pentacles, and then here a little bit of Capricorn energy with that like sticking to, with the Sun and the Four of Pentacles, almost like you want to stay here, you want to stay in this moment, but you can't stay in this moment, everything changes, but it's kind of like this clinging of things feel good, and perhaps in addressing this conflict, you don't want anything to change because it's a nice position to be sitting in. King of Wands in the shadow here, ready to take directive action, decisive action here. And then you have that Queen of Wands. She's kind of guiding you forward, right? It is a little bit concerning that the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands are not facing each other. But again, this is in the shadow. So when the cards come up, it's a little bit different. And it could be, any kind of one thing. But you are ready to take decisive action. There is some kind of learned experience here that you're leaning on, some wisdom that you gained, which feels recent, or that you're relying on this wisdom in a way to kind of set you on your true path. Alrighty, let's go ahead here. Interesting there. We have the King of Wands and the King of Wands. So again, this idea of decisive action, you being in control, you showing up in control, ready to act, which is quite nice for you, Pisces. Okay, let's get some clarifiers for Pisces, please, heading into May. Let's get some clarifiers for Pisces heading into May. Can you show Pisces and just explain their path in May, please? That was too many. Oh, alrighty. Let's get some clear and concise messages for Pisces, please. And last time. Okay, thank you. You see that down there? Yes. Okay. So again, just this idea of a lot of pentacle energy. So interesting here, just and to kind of put a point on that, you're more grounded than I've seen you. And this was in your reading last week, there was a lot of grounded energy as well. You're feeling like you have or you're looking like you have your feet firmly planted on the ground, which is really nice to see for you here. You're being practical, you're being realistic, and it's in a way that is still exciting for you and satisfying for you, okay? We have the World on its side, potentially like you're considering what's next in regard to whatever this Ten of Pentacles is that is on its side, okay? We have the Four of Wands in the reverse. That's interesting. Honestly, that feels like more like a feeling, like you're feeling a little bit out of sorts here, because you want to stay in this moment, or there's something that you're clinging to that you don't want to give up. And so you're feeling out of sorts because it could potentially leave you here. We've got the Ten of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. Again, just mildly concerning that they're not looking at each other, but that's okay. They're of the same suit. And the Queen trusts in herself. She trusts in those surroundings. She trusts in her kingdom that they will provide for her, give her what she needs, and she will give the same in return. So the fact that they're not facing each other, again, not too concerning here. This idea, though, of the Ten of Swords, whatever this ending is, and it does feel like it has a bit to do with this Five of Swords, these feelings, right? Feeling conflicted, feeling not quite right, feeling a little bit scared or argumentative or on the defense, or feeling like, just lashing out. These kind of feelings here. I kind of crossed with that Two of Cups. Initially, I was thinking it's like conflict on the horizon, but the other cards weren't really showing that. I feel like perhaps you're putting that to end, this idea of whatever kind of sticky resentments or whatever kind of lingering thoughts you had are on their way out, which is why you're sitting so nicely here and sitting so grounded. It's kind of like you recognize that the time has come for you to be a little bit more have your feet kind of firmly planted on earth, be a little bit more practical, and a little bit more forgiving with people, right? Especially as it resolves this or surrounds this Two of Cup connection that seems quite important for you. Okay, so it feels like those kind of negative feelings and those kind of old resentments here are being put to end or put to rest, because you know that there's no kind of place for them, or you know that those kind of feelings, maybe perhaps they're distorted in that you think that way, but that's really not the case. And so you're looking out kind of with fresh eyes, feet again on the ground for you, okay, and kind of saying, okay, let's explore what's next here. All right. And again, with that World, just bringing it back to that, it does feel like you are trying to determine where you're going next. Okay. So the doors aren't opening up to you, and because you know, this is a transitional time here. Okay. Eight of Pentacles. Again, not so surprised to see this. You're hard at work. You've been doing the thing, which is quite nice. King of Swords kind of showing up there as well. Yeah, this just feels like you're kind of taking ownership here, in a way that you haven't before. So maybe you are holding yourself more accountable. Maybe you're taking a little bit more responsibility than you have in past. Either way here, you're showing up, you're actively doing the work here kind of day after day, and the results are showing off, okay? We have Judgment coming kind of over the King of Wands here. So again, yeah, like something is lining you to your path here, which is really quite lovely and really nice to see. It feels like you're finally, like, I'm not seeing that double energy. The reading's not over yet, but he does creep his head one way or another into your readings. So potentially this might be the time where he's less of a problem, to say that he's not dominating your space because you no longer have time for him. And perhaps this Five of Swords is the last little remnants of that double energy, that negativity, that you've been kind of dealing with for the past little while. And that's perhaps finally kind of leaving you in May. Okay. The Six of Wands here, moving into calmer waters, or perhaps moving for some of you, temporary relocation, going off to school, or moving, you know, permanently. Either way, calmer waters. Okay, you're heading into a calmer place, it feels, than you have been for some time, especially with that Ten of Swords, that end kind of being solidified, right? She's looking on it, your Queen of Pentacles here, saying this is done. High Priestess energy here, so trusting yourself, trusting your intuition. Three of Cups behind that joy and celebration that comes with trusting yourself, loving yourself, owning who you are. Okay, and just celebrating that with the people that are closest to you. Let's get some more insight for Pisces here heading into May. Let's get some more insight for Pisces, please. Come on, clear and concise insight for Pisces, please. Let's get some clear and concise insight for Pisces. Okay. All right. So Hanged Man, this feels like it's going into the reverse a little bit. Not sure why I get that. But that's what I'm seeing. Either way, I'm focusing on his head, right? And that kind of illumination, that recognition that the sun is within him, that light is within him. And to be honest, it feels like the perspective is not, how do I articulate this? Typically the Hanged Man, his feet are off the ground, and it takes him being off the ground to gain that new perspective, right? Seeing things from a different angle. For you, Pisces, it feels like to see things from a different angle is the Pentacle energy, and that is to say being grounded, having your feet on the ground. That illumination is coming by touching wood, by touching earth. Okay, and that's kind of what I'm seeing with this Hanged Man element here. So not necessarily that you know, you need to think differently, but this idea that you already are by being grounded, and having your feet kind of more on the ground, being a little bit more practical here, not giving immediately to, you know, the potential, not getting lost in the potential of things, but kind of taking a moment to see things as they are and moving according to that, right? And so that's what I see here, is that illumination, that light shining from you, because you are pairing your imagination with the practical and the logical. Alrighty. Three of Wands on its side. Yeah, the time is coming for something here. And that's, again, having to do with the Ten of Pentacles on its side, the world on its side. You're opening yourself up. You're getting ready for your next step here. You're just kind of taking a beat to kind of enjoy this and make sure that everything more or less is solidified here. Nine of Swords in the reverse. Again, this idea of releasing this energy that was holding you back. Perhaps this devil energy finally leaving. And you kind of saying, hey, you know what? I've faced my demons here. I've learned my lessons from this part of my life. I understand that I'm putting it firmly to a close here. I trust myself. I trust the outlook that I have. I trust that I can be more feet on the ground. And kind of do the things that, we don't like to do, but sometimes are necessary to do, right? And kind of that understanding and knowing that you can move forward, knowing that you have these skills and you've done this work, right? You've done this work for yourself and you're not quite ready to share that yet. This is a time for you to kind of get that ingrained in yourself and be like, I did this and I look pretty good doing it, right? And have that moment of joy and accomplishment for yourself before moving on. What else do we have here? We have that Nine of Pentacles showing up again. So again, this idea of doubling down on doing the work, making repetitive habits here, letting go. Eight of Cups on the shadow or on the side here. This idea of, really just kind of taking stock, right? Of what needs to be walked away from and what doesn't. Certain aspects of that. Hermit coming up and this idea of shining a light on where you are now, but knowing this idea of fully recognizing and kind of being in the present with that Nine of Pentacles, right? Living in the moment, again, with your feet on the ground, but having an appreciation and a respect for how you got here, right? So that Hermit is very much shining a light on your present moment, but the Hermit showing up at all, that Virgo energy is this recognition that it took a lot to get here, and the weight of that knowledge and the weight of those lessons you will carry through with you, not only in your present, but beyond. King of Cups in reverse here. Not, it kind of giving me the same thing as like your foundations are a little bit out of whack. Your king, the master of your suit, is a little bit out of whack because you put an end to something that has been, a long time coming. Okay. And so your king to be out of sorts here makes sense, but it feels very temporary and something that while you might be having bouts of like little bits of, oh my God, okay, what am I going to do? Like, your emotions getting the better of you. It feels like that's kind of like remnants or like a ripple of you putting an end to, whatever this Ten of Swords is, whatever this thing is that you are firmly planting behind you and letting go, right? So again, not overly concerned about that, especially the fact that you have your feet so firmly planted on the ground. You look so grounded and practical, and it's this kind of beautiful marriage of, perhaps a little too practical, but it feels like you're finding your balance here between potential, not getting lost in the potential and not getting lost in, the mundane, the too practical, the too logic by logic steps, right? Eight of Swords. And then that King of Wands showing up again, right? So yeah, I mean, it feels like you're addressing what was kind of leaving you trapped, right? So the attention has been called to that. You've rectified that, you're releasing the bonds that you've kind of held yourself to, and you're freeing up your King of Wands to take decisive action when you're ready for it, right? So it's very much this idea of confronting some inner demons, confronting some past traumas, confronting some things that were holding you back within you, and releasing those and making space for what's to come. Any final thoughts here for Pisces? Any final thoughts for Pisces, please? Any final thoughts for Pisces for May, last time? Okay. Okay, so we have that Three of Pentacles showing up. So new opportunities, right? And almost like this idea of youthful vigor, just getting excited, right? Getting excited about what's to come, getting excited about what's out there in the world for you to explore, right? What's next, right? Endless possibilities here. Four of Swords on its side, and again, it's this idea of your mind is at peace, and you're kind of coming out of that, not coming out of it in a bad way, but in a way of kind of awakening after, you know, kind of being in a just really kind of deep learning state, Pisces, and coming out of that into a new version of you, right? With some new perspective here and some newfound insight. Okay, that's what I'm seeing here. And of course, Ace of Wand in the shadow, again, new energy, new passion, new vigor, new zest, right? Joie de vivre. You know what I mean? Either way, it seems, and again, that devil didn't once show up here, which is really refreshing to see for you, Pisces, that energy seems to finally have cleared in, you know, one aspect or another here, which is quite lovely. And your focus seems to be on the present and enjoying this present moment before starting to plan what is next and where your journey is going to be taking you. Okay, let's see if there's any final messages here for Pisces, please. What is the message you have for Pisces? What is the message? What is the message you have for Pisces, please? Oh, too many. Can you give me one message for Pisces, please? Thank you. Look deeper. 14. There is more beneath the surface. Remain cool and centered. Take time to look at the deep underlying currents and follow your intuition. This card indicates a need to go beneath the surface to the heart of the matter. Beware of smokescreen emotions that cloud your truth, like an armor of anger protecting a soft spot of fear. The more uncomfortable the feeling, the greater the effort to hide it. An easy answer is not going to be adequate here. This card invites a closer examination of something that is troubling you. Can you name the feeling that you have, and could it be a cover for something else? Do you find yourself jumping to the conclusions without proof because uncertainty and doubt about a person or situation feels uncomfortable? Do you have an attachment to an outcome that is unlikely to come true? Take the time to wait for further information to reveal itself and create the necessary conditions for this inner reflection. Does a walk in nature center you? If so, seek out the comfort of natural spaces. Is a quiet space with a journal more to your liking? Or maybe yoga and meditation? Whatever your preference is, prepare to ask deeper, more specific questions as you dig through the layers, or you may need to approach the situation from another angle in order to expose some blind spots. Detach yourself from first impressions and be open to new information. A wealth of wisdom and growth await you. Interesting. Pisces, that's what I have for you for the month of May. I mean, you're really looking great, you know, and it really is nice to see. You've had a little tumultuous of a year, so it's nice to see that that's kind of taking a beat here for you, and it looks like you're coming through the other side. which is beautiful. I really appreciate you taking the time to stop by and gain some insight heading into May, just as I hope that you appreciate these readings. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you, and I wish you all the best today and always. We'll see you next time. You take care.